Are you eating all the right food, but you're struggling to lose those last 5 or 10 pounds? I get this comment or question all the time. So let's talk about it, shall we? Hey everybody, this is Dylan. If you don't know me, I make videos showing people how I live a health-promoting diet and lifestyle in hopes of helping other people to accomplish the same, or if they're already doing it, to maintain it forever. My own day-to-day diet consists mainly of 3 or 4 categories. The first would be non-starchy veggies, like anything you would put on a salad or cook with, bell peppers, celery, onions, carrots, all of the leafy greens, of course, and then a variety of whole fruit that I'd snack on throughout the day. And then where I get the bulk of my calories and really feel full and satisfied every day is from the whole starches, especially potatoes, all the whole grains like quinoa, corn, rice, and then legumes, beans, and lentils. All of those are my favorite foods to eat. And then there's a 4th category that I'll supplement with to add flavor to the food, which would be nuts, seeds, avocado I really like, some very lightly or not processed at all soy products like edamame, a little bit of tofu sometimes. This 4th category I eat mostly as condiments. They're not the bulk of my food groups. They're just to add some richness and flavor. They're more calorie dense, so they can cause people to eat a little bit too much because they're rich. But I love a diet that consists of those overt fats, I call them as well. Like I said, I focus mostly on whole unprocessed foods, all the stuff that I get from the produce section of the grocery store. There are very few products that I buy off of the shelves in the aisles. I don't eat any of the processed vegan garbage like the fake meats and cheeses with all the added oil. In fact, my diet consists pretty much entirely of no added oils whatsoever. And I'm very low on the added salt and sugar as well. And a lot of people who watch my videos don't eat any added salt, oil, or sugar at all, a totally SOS-free diet. And I found that pretty much all humans, save a few exceptions that might be experiencing some sort of very rare health situation, are going to thrive on this kind of a diet. And if you eat the kind of food that I eat, you'll get to a healthy weight. You'll start to reverse any chronic illness that you may have piled on over the years, such as type 2 diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. All of these things start to fade away after an extended period of time of eating all of the right foods. And when I'm asked this question, I'll often provide some tips and tricks that might work for you, and they might not, frankly, and this is where I've evolved on this question. So let me tell you what the tips and tricks are to start with, and then we'll keep going after that. One of the tips is food sequencing, and this focuses on calorie density. The 4 food groups that I talked about at the beginning of this video that I eat, I listed those out in calorie density order. And you can watch one of my calorie density videos if you just search Well Your World calorie density, and you can start to understand this. This is the most important topic when it comes to weight loss, period, hands down, is focusing on calorie density and the 4 food groups that I eat. And so with food sequencing, what this means is you can start each meal with something like a salad, all of the non-starchy vegetables that are low in calorie density. So you can take up some space in your stomach with a salad and then move on to the more calorie dense starches, like I said, the legumes, the potatoes, the whole grains, and then top off with that and feel very full and satisfied. This works for some people. Where this might be different from the way you're doing it is if you just start with the whole starches and fill up entirely on that, you're going to be getting more calories, say, than if you started with a salad. So you can sort of hijack your normal day-to-day process by focusing on food sequencing. Food sequencing may be the missing link for you to get rid of those 5 or 10 extra pounds, or it may not be. It doesn't make any difference for a lot of people. I jump right into the whole starches. Yes, I'll eat leafy greens along with my whole starches, but I don't generally sequence my meals, and I am at a healthy weight that I want to be at. And I know that men are different from women, and we all have a little bit different sensitivities to calories, etc. So you can play with food sequencing and see what happens. Another tip you might want to try is intermittent fasting, making sure that your eating window is confined to perhaps 8 hours, starting in the late morning and ending in the early evening, and then going a good 16 hours without food. For some people, this will stop them from doing some of the conditioned binging that we might do at night. Like for me, after dinner, I'll eat and eat and eat. Usually it's all healthy food, so it doesn't have any effect on my weight or the way that I feel or my overall health, but I do tend to keep on eating even when I'm not hungry. This is not you listening to your body and intuitive eating. This is something that is conditioned. I do this because I do this over and over, and I'm used to doing it, and I look to do it at night because it's like my little comfort zone that I've conditioned over time. This isn't me, listening to my body and I need more calories or blah, blah, whatever. This whole intuitive eating thing to me is bogus, because if you're walking down the potato chip aisle and you're used to eating potato chips on a regular basis and your body tells you that you should grab a bag of potato chips because this is you intuitive eating, then you're never going to achieve health and you're listening to your body. The problem is your body is used to all of these flavors and rich foods and processed garbage that you shouldn't be eating, and so listening to your body is never going to get you where you need to be. You need to actually tell your body to shut the hell up so that you can focus only on the healthy food. So I'm sorry, but intuitive eating is something that maybe you can do when you're already eating all of the healthy food, all of the 4 food groups that I've just talked about in very reasonable proportions, like not too much nuts, for example. And if you're already at this like well-calibrated equilibrium of eating healthy food, then sure, you can eat intuitively, for lack of a better word. I'd like to pick a different word than intuitive eating because it really needs to be focusing on whole, unprocessed plant foods without the added salt, oil, sugar, and then just listening to your body on what it wants to eat. If you want to start a meal with starches today and later in the day you want to start it with a salad, then great, by all means, eat intuitively. But if intuitive eating means once in a while I'll have a hamburger because I'm craving it, I'm sorry, but you're never going to get healthy if you continue to eat in moderation or follow intuitive eating or mindful eating and eat slowly and one bite at a time. It's all bullshit. So the other tip that you could try, and lots of people have great success with, is eliminating that 4th food group that I mentioned, the overt fats, the one with the nuts, the seeds, the avocado, coconut, soy products. You can take those out of your diet entirely and focus only on the non-starchy veggies, the fruit, and the starches. Try that if you want. Maybe you'll lose the last 5 or 10 pounds, but you need to make sure you're not getting into an unhealthy low weight, especially for women who have a menstrual cycle. And if you get too low in weight or you eat a diet that is too low in fat, you might lose your period, which is not really a healthy thing to do. You've got to be honest with yourself. When you say that you got another 5 to 10 pounds to lose, do you really have 5 to 10 pounds to lose? Or are you already at a really healthy weight? Like, the question is, are you eating the healthy food the way that you should be? Or are you eating the healthy food the way you should be and you're supplementing with a bunch of garbage as well? If you're doing that, then you're simply not being honest with yourself, and you probably do have 5 or 10 pounds that you could drop if you just focused on eating all healthy, whole, natural foods. So a lot of this may be a miscalibration of your own sort of gauge as to what your own healthy weight should be. If you want rock hard 6-pack abs and you have to totally like restrict your calories to do that or eat only non-starchy vegetables all day long, then you're probably not in a healthy spot and you should maybe reconsider what it is to be healthy or what your healthy weight is. I've said this before, but I refuse to believe that that last 5 or 10 pounds is being noticed by anyone but your own obsessive eyes, looking in the mirror, staring at yourself, and wishing that you had these chiseled abs that you think are healthy, but probably aren't for a lot of women especially. The average body fat percentage for women is a little bit higher than men, even when they're eating all the right foods. That's just how it is. So I would ask you, do you really have 5 or 10 pounds that you need to lose? You're obviously already in your normal BMI. If you only have 5 or 10 pounds to lose, you may even be at the low end of your BMI. So I would say reconsider this thing. 5 to 10 pounds is not that big of a deal. We eat whole, healthy foods, not for weight loss, but to get healthy. And when you're healthy, your weight is going to be at its natural sort of plateau, and this should be okay. If you're still overweight, we're talking about something else. There are probably still things, parts of your diet or lifestyle, exercise, whatever, where you could be improving, and we can talk about that. But if you're already eating all the right foods and you balance out at this weight that is maybe 5 or 10 pounds heavier than what you want it to be, but it's still perfectly healthy in your normal healthy BMI range for your height, then I would say just forget about it and be happy with where you are. You probably look fantastic. The other 4th thing that I just alluded to that may help you lose the last 5 or 10 pounds or get to this healthy balanced weight that I'm talking about would be ensuring that you're doing some cardiovascular exercise day to day, preferably every single day. Get that 30-minute walk at the bare minimum. If you want to take it to the next level, do an extended period of higher intensity cardio, such as riding the stationary bike, going for a run, something more strenuous than just a walk. And if you want to take it to the next level yet, you can do some high intensity interval training, which you can look up and learn more about. I can talk about that in another video sometimes, but basically it just means that you take your body through some intervals. Say you do 20 seconds of light exercise, maybe it's running on the treadmill, then you do medium for 20 seconds, then you do high, like all out maximum speed craziness for 20 seconds, and then you go back to low. Or you maybe do 1 minute of each, but you're going through these intervals so that you're getting your heart rate really, really high for a short period of time. And this has been said to help with weight loss. It gets you into a fat burning zone the next day, things like that. I don't know if any of this is true, but it may be something worth trying if you're just trying to get those last few pounds. So give it a shot. Maybe you need to get more muscle on your body. So maybe you need to do some actual resistance training in the gym that'll help you build a little bit more muscle, which will speed up your metabolism, which will increase your basal metabolic rate, your day-to-day calorie burn. And so maybe that'll help you burn a little bit more calories. But it also might lead to you eating more calories too, which is what it does for me and most people, I think. The more I burn, the more I work out in the gym, the more I'm going to eat. So for the most part, I don't know if this is necessarily going to result in that last 5 or 10 pounds of weight loss, but it's something you can play with. And while we're on the topic of exercise, I want to be very clear that weight loss does not come from exercise. Principally, it comes from getting the food right. So if you think that you're just going to outrun your mouth and exercise your brains out until you get to the healthy weight, it's not going to happen. And if it does, it didn't happen in a healthy way. You've got to get the food totally right, be completely honest with yourself, ensure that you're out of the pleasure trap, remove all of the little cheats, for lack of a better word, that may be in your day-to-day lifestyle, and then you can start complaining about how you're not losing the weight that you want to lose. But it does not come from exercise, it comes from eating the right food. Okay. And finally, another thing that others talk about that I'm not sure I'm in favor of, but you can try it, would be to restrict calories a little bit more, also known as portion control. So some people say, oh, I'm eating all of the healthy foods, but it turns out I'm just eating too much of them. I'm eating beyond regular full satiation, and that may be the case. Again, you may have conditioned yourself, habit, to eat more than you actually need to be eating to feel full and satisfied. I myself am quite conditioned to eat way beyond full. Like I eat complete to the point of complete fullness at every meal. And that is not something that I would recommend other people do, especially if they're trying to lose weight. I happen to have genes that allow me to get away with eating till I'm really full at every meal because I'm just like burning a ton of calories. Other people that aren't burning as many calories as me, even if you're exercising or whatever, may have more trouble with eating till you're full like I do. So you might have to practice a little bit of portion control, at least until you get into a more reasonable habit for your own body type. What this does not mean is lowering your food intake to something like 1,200 calories a day, which to me, I would waste away. And there are a lot of women, men alike, that would totally waste away on 1,200 calories a day. A 2,000 calorie diet is a very healthy diet for men and women. I eat probably closer to 3,000 calories just by my own intuitive eating of the whole starches and all the other food groups that I talked about. Another thing that you could do, and that I do not recommend doing to lose those 5 or 10 pounds, would be to move toward a more raw food diet, which would mean that not only are you removing all of the overt fats potentially, I mean a raw food diet can have nuts and seeds obviously, but if you've already removed those and now you're going to start moving away from some of the cooked starches where I told you I get all of my satiation, all the really healthy calories that I eat day to day is from my starches, then you're going to be relying on fruit and you're going to be relying on vegetables. And you're going to, obviously, if you fill up over and over on just fruit and vegetables throughout the day, by the time you go to bed, you'll have eaten less calories in that 24-hour period or 16-hour period of eating, whatever it is. But this could cause you to eat too few calories. And if you eat too few calories, then yeah, maybe you'll get the body you want, but is that really the healthy body? You've got to really be honest with yourself. Run some experiments, see where you feel your best. Make sure for women you're still experiencing your cycle and go from there. So you've got to focus on the right food. Don't worry too much about those last 5 or 10 pounds. Just get into a healthy zone, focus on health, stay off the scale. The end product is a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. This is not a diet, a yo-yo diet, a temporary thing that we do just during the holidays. This is our lifestyle now. This is the way I eat every day, and I feel the best that I've ever felt in my entire life, and I wouldn't give that up for anything. I cannot encourage you strongly enough to focus more on the process itself of getting healthy than the outcome, which tends for many people to be this weight goal. Because if you don't hit your weight goal at the speed that you think you should be, then you could get discouraged and go back to eating all the junk food and just throw down the towel and stop trying. It's not worth it. Just focus on the day-to-day. You're going to get healthy. Remember how long it took you, how many decades has it taken to get unhealthy, and how long is it going to take to get healthy? Fortunately, a lot faster. And then it comes down to this routine. You got to find a cooking routine that works for you, whether it's batch cooking or just really fast, easy cooking like I do in my cooking videos. Watch them. This is the cheapest and easiest way of cooking in the history of eating. So don't go into this thinking, oh, I have to learn this really hard new thing. Yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve at first, but once you have it for the rest of your life. Once you know your day-to-day routine, you have it for the rest of your life. Once you feel well, you can maintain it for the rest of your life. So watch some more of my videos right here with cooking videos or other explanations where I'm sitting here in this chair just talking about things. I'll see you on the next video. I love you. Bye.